going into the QuakeWorld match. It's actually starting right now.
Okay, cool.
So we should probably jump straight into DM3 and quick team rundown here for 666. Of course, the same players, but for Boom, we have Rick Cole, we got Carapace, Okanantier, and Locktar. And I actually fancy their chances because Carapace is a godlike 4-on-4 player, and I feel like across the board, it's a bit more. They have a bit more going for them.
Absolutely. So we've got initial items out here. Of course, it's going to be BPS on the Pent coming back into the rocket launcher room. And I'm going to have to shift gears here a little bit. I was watching all the 4v4s earlier, but of course, this is a very different beast from 2-on-2. Yeah, this is going to be good stuff. So BPS is taking control of rocket launcher here. Of course, he's got the Pent, so he's got that running out, and now he's going to be a little bit more vulnerable. He's got 4 rockets to spare. And I haven't seen any teammates from 666 so far. Everybody's coming after BPS. He's holding down the fort on rocket launcher by himself so far, and nobody really wants to get too close and personal.
Yeah, this is always the struggle. He got the second rocket launcher, but it's always really hard to get out alive.
Yep.
But the point is that he basically forces the enemy to spend a lot of resources and just holding him there. And it actually took like 30 seconds to kill him. Yeah. Another rocket launcher spawned during that time, and all the power-ups as well. So that actually put 666 in a great position. BPS did not die in vain because Milton's running an LG with quads and a red armor.
Absolutely. So he's fully stocked up here. He doesn't have any rockets, but this is the best way to take over rocket launcher room here, as long as he doesn't get sniped too far with shotgun at this point. I was just watching GT during those last matches. I've never seen somebody be that plus forward with just a shotgun, like scaring off other players with red armor. He's the first one with the shotgun, but they still don't want to deal with his anger, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't really get a beat on what kind of energy he's putting out, but it's terrifying for sure. So Milton here with rockets finally is going to be still right on top of red armor, taking away yellow as well. Rico's going to be incredibly weak, but getting away. 26-6 at this point, just a couple minutes in as we get ready for the next round of items. Milton going through the back hallways both to get health and presumably look for a couple weak players. We're going to be finding Rico right on the Mega, who's going to get it. The rocket's going to pop him right up to it, but there's the quad SNG to take him down, keeping BPS's reign rolling.
Yeah, and so far it's been very, very good for 666 because of their start. Their start was very strong. I don't think it was quite a full start, but you can see a similar result in the end, whereby they have very good reign of these weapons room. And the problem is that normally you should be afraid to run a quad towards the weapons room because there's usually so much contention there that you necessarily don't know when the LG is spawning, or even if it is, there can likely be a guy just sitting in the water with an LG just to make sure that he can discharge you if you are walking there with a quad. I mean, we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Exactly.
But that BPS is actually going for the red control, and this is heavily contested, and he doesn't actually have much health left, but looks like he might be able to make it down, but the other team's calling a flood. They're just charging in with all the boomstickers there because they know how weak 666 are in this position.
He was looking for Milton to kind of keep him alive there, but that's going to clear out the red armor room, but a lot of damage, a lot of resources spent there. However, we got 666 Rio now on top of the quad with red armor, and I'm not sure if anybody's going to come in to really attack that. They're all going to be exiting from the quad area in order to, put a lot of pressure on yellow armor here, catching Locktar. Can he do anything with those grenades? Well, he could burn off a little bit of that armor. However, he can now get kind of free reign on the map. 49-17, they've been keeping this a really steady roll.
And they have 2 rocket launchers as well, and they have the red control do 666, so that's a really big deal. And you can see that Rio is actually doing a lot of, trying to get a lot of damage. He's got a lot of presence in the weapons room and the yellow armor area, so that's very scary because 666 essentially have both sides of the map and rocket launchers in place in both sides of the map. And that gets into this territory where they can just make this insane swing of frags. And that is something that sometimes you can't recover from. So hopefully they're going to be able to stop this. Well, hopefully Boom can stop this sooner rather than later.
You're going to have to tell me if that was intentional at yellow armor. Jumping to do the spam rocket on the spawn. Was the jump just to make sure that it would hit above and behind on the wall instead of on the player, which could cause more splash damage?
I actually missed that, I think.
Definitely intentional. Definitely intentional. It was artistic. It was beautiful. I'm going to have to watch for it again. But Rio, back on the quad now. A little bit of Mega left over coming back into the red armor room. It's going to be a good grab. Mostly utility quad here, just making sure that he's fully stacked up. And again, finding everybody scared down here at the yellow armor room. And we're finding them there a lot. They haven't really been able to break out of there or get too many rockets on the board just yet. We're finding some down to the water, but a quad rocket is a great way to fish.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Just like fishing with dynamite. It's working out very, very well.
That's how I was raised.
And was it really? Did you bring the
We'll
dynamite?
talk later. Yeah.
All right. So we have the pen spawning though. That's the big deal right now because that's the way back in. It's the Hail Mary in some senses. Not quite yet because it's only the second one.
Oh,
but
there we go.
We have the play in there. Everyone diving on top of it. But Trigva there in a very good position. Milton just guarding the top here. The SMG telly. Oh, sorry, the SMG telly. The wire exit there, right above Pen in the window room. And looks like Milton's going to pick it up. And here's the movement. This guy, the quad pen. We didn't actually see this in the last map, but quad pen, very fun.
Absolutely. No more worry about discharge from the water. You can now fully take over both the yellow armor and the weapons room. And just
holding
looking
a
for some
pack
spawns
right now.
there. Yep. Somebody come get it. Not you. Holding 2 packs now. This is going well.
So that should have I think that has a rocket launcher in it. Oh no, he just took it. Oh my god. Denied. Oh man.
What a beautiful man.
I feel like he really had time to like not do that. It's like he saw maybe he's like looking at.
I think he missed Locktar there as well. He was hiding at the yellow armor spawn. Didn't see him there. And Locktar still found him. Yeah. I don't think they can hear us through there. So yeah.
Oh god, the telefrag. He walks over the spawn. You don't have to do that. Even Milton makes that mistake sometimes. I mean, it's hard to avoid because basically with that one, I think there is no way to avoid it. No, actually, you can avoid it. Actually, you just have to be perfect. You can actually avoid it. You don't have to wait and look at people dying.
Milton's
and be like,
just almost perfect.
Yeah, just almost perfect. He has to have some flaws, otherwise he wouldn't be human.
Well, it's a good facade at least. So 124. We got BPS back on quad and red armored, looking for anybody putting any pressure on the red armored room, not finding anybody, hoping to hear some comms from anybody else about where some bodies could be. We see Locktar and OK98 down below, but he's not quite willing to engage there just because he wants to make sure that he doesn't lose control of the red armor room. But he's going to commit to Locktar, who is trying to dodge quad rockets, I guess. But there's Kara, who's going to take away that red, which is what BPS was worried about before. However, nobody seems to notice him there, which is a pity because he's fully loaded up and fully armed.
And it's looking pretty good, actually, for 666 with the fact that they have a good basic control. They've got Trigva. He's got the rocket launcher towards the RA area at the moment. It's actually at the SMG Mega, just stacking up on the Megas. And you've got BPS here with another rocket just locking down the quad area. So they have a really good spread of control at the moment with the rockets. Trigva's going to come out to help the pickup.
Perfect timing on that quad, too, turning that into a quad rocket and just wiping out everybody.
Ooh.
Course now, again, just to remind everybody sitting at home, this is not an official tournament match. We closed off a little bit early, but we could not keep these guys from playing. So right now, we're looking at a little bit of a show match between 666 and Boom. And
so far, it's I mean, 666 didn't have the best time on their first TM3 against Team Americas. I mean, Dev had a great game, and they won fairly handily. But you can see right now, with a really good start, in a QuakeWorld, there's a lot about really strong decision-making and control. And 666's control has not been broken the entire map so far. They started off with good control, and they continue to have good control. And the next big kind of comeback mechanic is there are a few, slightly smaller comeback mechanics, but the next big one is the pentagram. It spawns every 5 minutes the invulnerability, and its very nature has a lot of variance because you got to jump out the window, and we'll see that in about a minute and a half, that dynamic. And they really need to be able to pick that up. Boom must pick that one up.
But it's absolutely brutal when you are looking to that pent to make that comeback, or at least make an attempt of a comeback, and you get beaten out there as well. So it's like half, when's pent going to spawn, but it's also, when's pent spawning in relation to the quad and to the red armor. What other incentives are there for the enemy team to not pay too much attention to us at the pent? And if that's the case, then hey, maybe you need to be putting more attention on the quad at that time. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot of factors that kind of play into it. The timing of these items can be somewhat static because these guys are so scripted in some ways, at least in terms of item grabs for the initial ones. But there's still some room for variance there.
Yeah, and it's going to be coming up in a minute or so. So both teams now will, I mean, they would want to play slightly more conservatively, just to have stack there to set up in time for the pen, because you want to have window control. It's one of the most important spots to control. You're going to see Milton able to pick up the quad damage, and the Trig took the Mega away. That's actually okay. And actually Milton's picking up, actually pointing out what could be a pack. I'm not sure if that, no, it actually was a rocket pack. So Milton just scored a rocket pack with BPS. And you can see Milton's pretty comfortable not having that Mega, instead allowing his teammates to survive better. And this is like a very good decision that has worked out very well. And you can see now he's just building into pressure towards the pen area. He's going to go in for another rocket kill. I think it's another pack, but no teammates can actually get to that.
Oh,
so
he's not going to make it to the Mega. Oh, jeez.
Unlucky
nice
there.
shot out of Lokhtar.
6 spawns. Lokhtar could have spawned anywhere, but he spawned in the only spawn where he could have done that.
And I think he might have waited just a little bit before firing with his shotgun to make that more interesting. It worked out. All right, so we're going to be seeing Carapace just for a second getting some awesome float, but also getting the grab.
I like how auto tracks like
yeah.
Pen's important. Oh my god, the ring's really important. Oh wait, actually, never mind, guys. The ring doesn't mean anything.
The ring's cool, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. All right, but Carib's going to be on the Pent here, and finally we have Boom getting a grab here. They have almost 130 frags to pick up here, and one Pent can open a lot of doors, but it's up to the rest of the team to step through it. And
this is a cool dynamic as well, because Milton, he can't fight the Pent, but he can knock him around and just block him from those choke points and entrances, and that's exactly what he was doing. And basically restricted his options entirely and just pushed him into one spot on the map. And now he's gone. Milton can have free reign with that quad damage of his, and he's putting a lot of pressure on the weapons room, which means that his teammates will have basically weapons up for grabs, and if they don't get it, the weapons of the enemies get will basically not have access to the yellow armor, so they don't have any way to actually really effectively use those and build them into control.
However, by leaving the quad on the board, Boom really didn't get all that much out of that Pent.
This scoreline, man.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal here.
This is what happens if you never break control, basically. it's just how this works.
Just mill out the frags,
Yeah. It's always a battle of the team that gets control, how much they can extend their control, because there's different levels of it.
Right.
And then the other team's ability to break it. And
from the other end,
sometimes they can't make it happen, and so far that's been the case.
OK98's looking to get lucky with these grenades, and BPS is just dodging every single one of them, as well as going for this Mega. He's going to leave OK98. Oh, no, it was a rocket launcher from Milton that did. I was going to be surprised if that nail did the trick. But he can't get rid of him. Lokhtar's going to steal the red armor right out from under him, or over him, I guess. But yeah, this scoreline's pretty brutal.
Yeah, those nails do a lot of damage. Maybe I guess it would be 72. Yeah, potentially, if it was 18, then it's 72. So yeah, those nails do a lot of damage with quad. It's just really fun, and the boomstick as well, as we saw. So Rio's going to reclaim control of the red armor area for 666, and again, that's the most important. That's like the first most important spot to have. And now it's back towards the quad area, as he is he's not the only rocket launcher. BPS has one, but he's very weak. He's at RO. He will die soon. Probably, most likely, he will die very soon. Yeah, he just died by OK98, who is holding the yellow, and that's information that's going to reach Rio. They're like, Rio, take the quad over. Well, there you go. Rocket's dead now. So OK98 had the rocket, and probably the only one for the team, and now he's dead.
Well, Kara's going to try to hold us down with his yellow armor and nades. However, Rio's going to be very well set here. Not so much on the armor anymore, but he's got plenty of health and a good position to hold us down. But nobody told, well, I'm not sure who that was. Somebody coming around the corner was like, hey, could I have a rocket launcher too? No.
I feel like, for a decision-making perspective, I would have liked Rio just to take the yellow and pressure in on the rocket from the bridge, because he can kill the rocket then, because he doesn't need it himself. He has one already, and there's rockets up, and he can have more stack, basically. And so it's basically the same thing, and it allows his teammates, the boomstickers, have more of the job to get in there, as opposed to him. So I feel like, some tweaking of the decision-making there. If I have to be very pedantic, I'm going to do it.
That's our job.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So it's a good time for it, too.
Yeah. Although that said, it's been 4 years since I played the QuakeWorld. So gonna reserve.
I haven't done any digs on your current career so far this weekend. I need to catch up on that.
My current career that does not exist because I cost all the time. That's the irony. If you work in esports, you don't get to play. You don't have time to play games. That's what happens.
That's my excuse anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bad because I cast, not for any other reason. Yeah. All right, so Lokhtar is going to get pulled down pretty quickly there. We got Megas coming up. And Trig's actually on a really good run here. Oh, wow. They're just going to run into each other and LG each other for seconds. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's what is considered in QuakeWorld a slow frag.
I love that moment. Just lock eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Look,
we're not afraid of
into each other's eyes. Oh, okay. You wanted to go a different direction.
Yeah, I want to
see.
Yeah.
All right, I gotcha.
All right, so court time. And also pen time soon. Well, not quite now, but in about 40
Yeah, but no time
seconds.
to take this map back for Boom. They pretty much exploded themselves here, 217 to 58. Pretty extreme.
Yeah, it is extreme. Again, just if you never get control back, that's how it goes. And
Yeah.
And it's always going to be about how long can you hold control, how much can you do with it. Because some teams are not going to be as effective, as efficient at the second phase of control. So having like that red armor area and the area right outside of it, the telly and
nice.
SMG area. If you have that, that's great. But you're not getting very many weapons. You're not stopping them from getting yellows. So your control on the yellows be weaker. But looks like we have a discharge. I have to continue that forward later. Because also Milton has picked up the pent, and he's pretty good with those.
And so that's yet another pent not going over to Boom. So it's kind of a poor sign for them. He's going to enjoy swimming with the boys here, just taking them down. Red armor, what red armor? Okay, 98 is going to actually get away with it here. Milton, yeah, hitboxes are hard. So a rocket jumps when Kara gets in your face.
You need to be careful, actually, because you lose all your armor when you're in pen mode if you get shot. Like, you can take armor damage, but no health damage. So you always want to finish on an armor. That's essentially the idea with the pen. Normally, you're going to say, I want to finish on a red, but if your teammates already have the red control and you can get the yellow like that, that'll do as well. And Milton's just loving it right now. Just going into the water, just doesn't care. I mean, there's no risk of discharge because he knows when the LG spawns, and he knows how many LGs are on the enemy team, which is, I believe, 0. So that means it's safe to swim.
It's a lovely summer swim, yeah. Geez, poor OK 98 is getting bounced around a lot. But Rico's coming in to get bounced in his stead. And again, just 4 minutes left. And yeah, hopefully Boom can stay relatively sharp for the next map. Have they decided whether it's going to be DM2 or E1M2?
I actually am not sure if it's which one it is.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, with one thing we're not seeing is that all the players use binds to communicate their status. When I say binds, they press a button, and there's like a script, basically, which will show, basically, like, where they are on the map, their health, their armor, their weapon, all that kind of stuff. And it gives you, basically, it's just to give you a more complete picture to make decisions with as a team. And if there's more prioritized information, like enemy rocket launcher, like where he's going, then what you do is you use their voice comms for that. So you distribute, like you have to have a priority list of how you use your communication. It's very complex, actually.
In Quake 2, I always had like the numpad set up, like 1 through 9 for different stuff, and then Alt would turn it into a different set, and then Control would turn it into a different set.
That's cool, actually. I like that.
Whereas a lot of weapon drops and status updates. And of course in Quake 2, this was a little bit controversial, but there were also waves that you would play that would give you item timings.
Yeah. And actually, we can show you, because normally it comes up in the chat, but you can see this. This is happening all the time. All the text you see, they're pressing the status button to give everybody a picture of what's happening. And you can see Trigva towards the top there. I can't really highlight it, but it's in pink. It says, kill me. And it's because he has a lot of cells in that situation, because he had a lot of cells, but he's otherwise, useless. So he's telling a guy who's an LG, you can just kill me right now, and I'll give you all the ammo.
It's the closest QuakeWorld players get to sharing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that you don't see for the communication of the game, because it's so important to have very concise and quick communication so everybody's on the same page.
Oh yeah, of course, watching it here is way different than going inside the tourney room and watching it on a player's monitor. I would love at some point to do like a config showcase or something.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many wild setups. Like every year I meet a player who's like using a setup or some keyboard configuration. I'm like, how do you do that without breaking your hand?
Yeah. It's insane. It's ridiculous. I think
it took me a long time to actually get used to WSAD. I always used to be a numpad player myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I played like Jedi Knight, which actually had like lots of weapons and all the force powers, so you needed every key you could get your hands on.
On the Quake engine as well. Or at least one of them was.
It was like some derivative, yeah. It was kind of weird. It was like the Sith engine. Oh no, I'm talking about like Jedi Knight, like 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Outcast and Academy came later, and yeah, they were in Tech 3. Really fantastic game.
You could strafe jump in those games, which was amazing.
You could launch a rocket. You could launch a rocket and then strafe jump on the rocket as it was flying.
Man, strafe jumping and force powers.
Yeah.
And also rocket launchers.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoever had the idea, it was a smart person.
Lucasfilm, yeah, and then eventually Raven. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so we've got a minute left in this one, and it's just been a situation where Boom just never got control. And I would assume it would be DM2 next if I really had to guess, because I think most teams and players these days, they prefer it.
Do you think they've gotten their fill of U1M2
yeah,
for the next decade?
I think they prefer it.
Yeah.
And I think it's partially because on E1M2, it's kind of like much more boom sticking and much less kind of and much more supporting the one guy.
GT was perfectly fine for that. He was top fragging his team in that one, but his just dedication to the boomstick. Even sometimes when he has other weapons, he's like, I'm just gonna hit with shotgun all day, no problem. Gonna be super consistent.
But I think these players like having rocket launches. Yeah, he just survives. He's such a survivor. It makes sense that his pastime is climbing up mountains.
Right.
Because he just finds a way to survive, this guy. Although I don't think he does free solo climbing. Actually, no, we had that I had a conversation with him about free solo climbing and asked him, if he ever tried it or anything like that. And he just looked at me like, why would you ever do that? why just? I prefer to live.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can just do the same thing and just live.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, yeah, I had a
fun
conversation about that.
Gotten into any of that. Of course, I live in Texas now. There's no real such thing as climbing.
Oh, yeah, I guess you don't.
I mean, there's stairs sometimes. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ever thought about it? Climbing up mountains?
Where I used to live in California, there was all sorts of awesome places to hike, a lot of good cliffs, but not here. You got golf courses, and unless you're really drunk, they don't really count.
That actually sounds like a good Sunday afternoon. Actually.
All right, so I'm guessing we're going to go into DM2.
I would assume so. Just waiting to see what the players are all suggesting. I like how that works actually. If in QuakeWorld, if you to call vote a map, it's
not like a vote. Everybody just
suggests
to a pool, and once it hits a threshold, you go to it.
Yeah, that's the terminology.
And KTX also has server settings that way. You can do one-on-one, and the server's one-on-one now. You can do FFA, TDM. It's great. It's actually pretty slick.
Yeah, it works really.
I need to say some good things about QuakeWorld mods and clients, because EasyQuake has been.
I know you're another
Meeg
fan,
has done great work.
I'm a big
it's not
fan
Meeg's
of
fault.
EasyQuake.
Every time I complain about it, I feel like Meeg is like, oh, it's all my fault. And it was like, no, it's not. No, you're doing good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just gonna play, it's pretty awesome.
Right.
But if you wanna, it depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be a bit clunky, but otherwise, if everything's going well, the amount of features.
Yep.
And if you know how everything works and all the commands.
There are
it's
features.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's
I
amazing,
had to disable Winamp.
You have to disable Winamp.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I don't have Winamp installed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember the days of Winamp. It took me a long time to get away from that. And
yeah, totally.
And kicking the llama's ass.
The Tasty Spleen radio server was first on Winamp before we went to Sam Broadcaster.
Winamp.
Yeah.
It really
totally.
kicks
Winamp
the
DSP.
llama's ass. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yep. Actual Shoutcast server.
Yeah, that was. Do you remember the plugin Pitchfork?
Yeah, absolutely.
So back in the days, for youngsters, when we used to excitedly watch or follow LAN tournaments by going onto IRC and watching scorebots, the upgrade to that was when we had services like QTV and GTV, but more importantly, when you had Shoutcast, which were just radio.
Right.
And so you would have to sync that with the viewers from where it's coming from, and so you'd always get a count. And I always remember DJ Wheat synchronizing people at those big Quake events, and the Pitchfork would basically slow it down or speed it up so you could synchronize yourself. And that is it's so weird, isn't it?
It makes it just feel like gamers are so lazy these days.
Yeah.
I was.
They don't appreciate anything.
I was thinking about Weapons Factory, the Quake 2 mod the other day, and I found an old Geocities site. Here's how to install Weapons Factory, and it's here's this config, move this over here, move this over there, run this batch file to launch it, run this other batch file to change these settings so you can launch it in this other mode, and it was like, we used to do a lot of that. Yeah, absolutely.
You had to be a really nerdy person back then,
totally,
because you had to be willing to actually go into the guts of the system to fix stuff.
But they had guts.
There was guts. Yeah. Now everything is being made very accessible, which is great because it means we get bigger communities, more players, and stuff like that. But also, it's
that's a good spin.
Also, right? I was about to say also the downside is that you go away from it with super punishing gameplay a lot of the time, because for most people it's just not fun, and it's more of a niche kind of thing. So you get much less of that these days. But I mean, talk about punishing. Everything was punishing.
Yep.
Back in for example, I remember when we had an Amiga 500 Plus, way back, so this. One of some kind of variety of personal computer, for those of you that don't know, similar to a Commodore 64 and so on. And you can have all the games that were written for them they could just crash. They could just crash. You could lose all your saves, and you're done. You have to start the game again. Or they would design games which would have like you'd have to do pixel hunting or like puzzles that make no sense, and most people couldn't finish the games, no matter how good you. Well, you'd have to be very, very good, but you had to be very tenacious.
If you didn't pick up the candlestick at on screen 3, you couldn't finish the game.
Yeah, stuff like that as well. Like, you miss certain bits in the game, that could happen. Or maybe you could just die in like an RPG game. Like, you could just die, like in Quest of Glory that happened, actually. I don't know if you've ever played that by Sierra.
Yeah,
you could just die.
That was the infamous one. That's exactly what I was referring to. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's DM2 after all. And
Kids these days.
Kids these days.
Yeah. All right, so we got Blood Dog on Secret Red already, and yeah, you can already tell that they're excited to be here in DM2, as they should be. BPS on the initial quad here, and is just enjoying the view at this point, as everybody's going to be coming through the teleporter, and he is just spoiled for choice on targets to hit. And he's going to just go on a bit of a roll here. So amazing shots out of him so far. Tied here 7-7. He's going to be quickly checking in on the lava items before headed back here to take over the quad room once again.
Yeah, so this has gone really well. And again, 666 won the first map if you just joined us. And this is the second map of this best of 3, which is essentially the grand final. And well, of this exhibition match, to make it clear.
Right.
And as we see BPS survive, his team actually is starting off with a good level of control. They've got this is like the primary area you want. You've got the telly, and you've got access to that high rocket launcher, although there's actually a bind for this. There's a bind for this. If someone goes through and you didn't catch them, you have pressed the bind, and it says enemy slipped. So that then your team knows that there's people up here. So
slipped through the gates.
They slipped through the gate, yeah, exactly. This is like this old terminology makes me feel very happy inside.
Well, we got 2 rockets for 666 here. Make that 3 now. Rio's the only one missing it, but he's going to be a fresh spawn here pretty soon after all. Recall is going to be incredibly strong. BPS looking to... Oh, my God. How more perfectly timed could that be? You want to go through the teleporter? No, you don't get to do that.
Nice, BPS. So, I was about to say he's keeping himself alive, but the door was open. And that actually allows the Boomstickers to jump straight in there off the spawn, which is actually very annoying. Oh, was that a pack? I think it was. Carapace picked up the pack as well. They knew that there was a pack still there, I think, from BPS. So, and Carapace is going to take over a very important part of the map. Quad's not too far away. That situation from BPS has had a massive impact now, because Carapace is looking very strong for the next quad. And if that happens, they could turn around control straight away and start to really make inroads.
This is such a huge deal. I think you were predicting earlier that Carapace would start making some real moves here.
He's amazing at this game.
Absolutely. And I think over the course of the day, he's just gotten better and better and better.
Oh, there we go.
But that's going to be a dead quad, as is tradition here on DM2.
Milton, he stopped that. That was something that could have been very fierce. And Milton knew he had to be the man.
The sacrificial goat, yeah.
I think he even escaped alive. He's still got his rocket going too, so that's pretty nice for him.
Dragon's on a bit of a run here. He's going to be able to pick up Secret Red and extend it, keep it running a little bit. He's going to need rockets here. Hopefully BPS is going to let him take it. Thank you very much, BPS.
I have to correct you, so it's Trigva.
Trigva, okay.
It's Trigva, yeah, I've got to correct you. Otherwise, I'm sure people will be like, I can't say his name right.
I'm the American, so I am like, so I'm sort of obligated to pronounce things wrong.
Durkin and Trigva. Oh, Trigiv.
Right.
Trigiv. All right. It's quad time again.
Yeah. I think Zoot was kind of shocked by that. It's almost never not quad time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so awesome.
Be wary for quad. When? Now. Oh, geez. Nobody paying attention to OK98, but it's going to be Recall from Boom getting on the quad. They're only a handful of frags down. He's going to be fairly stackless. Got to be fairly stackless here.
That's a great mistake that can happen.
Yep.
When someone says actually presses the slip bind and, and it's not actually.
It was me.
It was a teammate. Oh,
yeah.
God. This is awkward.
All right, so Recall looking to extend with this quad and actually pulling a couple frags ahead at this point. Being very centered on this point, just making sure that the rest of his team can move through the map cleanly, get the resources that they need, while he can deny access from anybody else.
Oh.
All right,
sorry.
We need a counter here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did have that during the Road to QuakeCon stream, just,
We'll get it at the end at the very least. So failing everything, we can check it at the stat screen at the end.
That counter was generally reserved for Thumpa, though, who I haven't seen in a little bit. I think he GG'd out.
Got on his jet, flew away.
Gonna fly away my jet. Gonna take my ball and jet home, yeah.
I have a jet.
All right, so Milton's gonna be in a bit of a rough spot, but he's gonna be putting Recall in a rougher one as Trigva is gonna be able to get away with quad. Well, I'd say get away. He's going to have to run away.
Yeah, he's actually able to survive. Got some extra rockets, but a bit of pressure coming in. He's not got much health. He's going to make this happen. Actually, this player slips. Really needs that yellow armor first. And yeah, you can do this where you are basically standing in the way. Does a couple damage, and you leave up a little bar, which is good for your teammates. So they have to run all the way around to press a button. But also, it's a double-edged sword because if someone spawns, they can easily just run straight through.
See, they wouldn't let that happen in games anymore.
No.
Not at all.
No.
We have force fields now, or futuristic.
And one thing that we haven't seen really too much of is the big room. And the trap, which is the entire floor, becomes lava, which is amazing. And then also the reverse trap. There's someone standing in the place that has that button. You can squish them, which is also awesome.
Which I think we've actually seen more in 2v2 than we did in 4v4. I think there's so much focus here on the quad room in 4v4 that's where most of the bodies end up falling. As evidenced by the giant pile of Gibbs.
It's happening again.
Yeah.
Milton's got a quad, and he's getting kills.
This is what you paid to see, everybody.
Yeah.
On QuakeCon pay-per-view. Right. So we got Milton making a bit of a run here. He's going to be a little bit light on armor, but he's got plenty of rockets here, obviously. He just needs to make sure that he's not his own target. OK98 is going to be his target. Just cannot get away from those spawns. Jeez. Pulling the short straw every single time.
Yeah. Oh, nice. They held the armor from there as well. Good team play coming in. And that's why you always need to read the status of your teammates. You got to have you got to keep your teammates who need to be healthy. You got to keep those rockets alive. And I just love the level of team play that is inbuilt in everyone. I said it when I was casting with Zoo. There's only been these 3 maps. These guys have been playing for so many years, well over a decade, that even in mixes, everybody knows how to team play to actually a high level.
Right.
So that's a really big deal.
Yeah, and especially at this event where we're going to be getting these where even ringer teams are going to be just amazing, if not near copies of EQL teams.
Yeah. That's a good point as well, actually. So, dialing back into the action here, we have a lead coming in for...
yeah, Milton's quad runs have given 666 a bit of an edge here. 64 on 81 now. It's now up to Boom to make something happen. OK98 has been really unlucky so far here, but we got camera on him right now with 3 health. Hopefully, he can put something miraculous together.
Yeah, I think after OK98 got that kill, I think we saw a chat bubble there, which may have been a bit of frustration at OK98 getting the kill and surviving. And not only did he get the kill and survive, he's got a red armor and he's looking to grab the quad. So that's actually become that's escalated.
Hey, the camera knows what it's doing. Auto track is
godlike.
Exactly.
It's just so auto track is just so amazing. Actually, I can't really say how amazing it is.
Auto track is waifu. Yeah.
Because it is the best observer, for sure. You don't need an observer. It will always show you the most important things happening.
Which is great for lazy broadcasters
almost
like
always.
us. Yeah. All right, so BPS getting on the quad, and this is really, really good for 666. They're only the 10 frags ahead, and they could certainly use some comfort frags to extend this lead. Now, of course, it's going to be up to Boom here in the latter half to close this gap. And DM2, the gap moves a little bit slower than some other maps, but they still have a big opportunity here if they can just get on the quad and start to make a run with it. BPS was just checking. He wasn't trying to get up there.
Yeah, I mean, don't expect him to miss. I mean, it's actually a very hard jump. It takes a lot of practice, but the big jump is the bread and butter trick. And looks like they are just relegated at the moment to the out-of-control portion of the map. And I did talk about in the previous Team 2 that typically you could actually expect teams to slow things down massively.
Yeah.
We didn't see it in the last TM2, but that's what a lot of teams would do. It's like, okay, we don't have enough to actually challenge correctly, so let's even let the quad go away, and then we'll defend against the quad, and then use that time to do that effectively, and then build up RLs, which means that now Rickle has to get kills. At least he has to get 1 or 2 RL kills as he moves into the out-control portion of the map. Here he goes.
Well, it was the RL kill from OK98 that opened up the quad for him, but as he walks into the rocket launcher room, where was the rest of Boom? Because the only thing that went Boom there was Recall.
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to have. He almost has to have the solo effort because his quad rockets. And
right.
You don't want any teammates near.
Yeah.
It's going to be messy. But it was a beautiful setup, and he ended up giving a pack away.
Yep.
When you're supposed to kill one rocket and get out of there, he gave a rocket launcher away.
He set it a little too far inside. Yeah.
They should be able to take the next quad now and take control of the match again.
Well, BPS is getting a lot of pressure here. Also from Blood Dog and Recall. They're all over that quad. They know how much is at stake for this next pickup, and they don't want to let it go. This is going to be a really, really messy fight all around. So 5 seconds, and Rio's actually waiting for it. He's low on health, looking for that Mega. We've got Blood Dog on the quad itself. He's got a little bit of yellow. Like you said, he needs to make some frags, and this time he's going to be, if he's going to be risking an entry to the rocket launch room, he's going to be doing it from up top.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's
waiting for the red though. It's going to be wasting a lot of that quad time. 97 to 111, still completely doable as we hit the halfway point.
Ooh, that was, might want to think about getting out of that. I don't know if they have the time on the low rocket launcher, but he's got to be careful. If there was a rocket launcher there, but there's not. He's actually, oh no, he gets telephragged. I think he gave the pack away. I think the pack went to his opponent as well, because I think he just shot a shot too.
That's only just, you know.
Yeah, and this is really interesting too, because that could have turned into some nice control. He could have got the low rocket launcher time, which would have been a really big thing for his team. But instead, 666 have now still the most important area of the map. Although Rio has to win these fights and hold on to this area. He's got a lot of presence coming his way, and they actually have the opposition have quad as well. So he just didn't have enough health there.
There's Recall again on it, and this time he's got quad, plenty of health, and plenty of rockets. And this time, the rocket launch room is actually open. So, got to look both ways before he crosses that particular street. So we should see some players heading back over towards the lava items. However, Recall's getting some comms about Secret Red. And yeah, there's going to be a team frag, but it should all even out. And that brings things back up to a tie game, 117 now, 118 to 117.
Yeah, the team frags are totally fine, so long as the guy that he kills doesn't have a rocket launcher, basically. Right. Then it's pretty fine. Obviously, if he has a red armor, it's not so fine, but generally, if it's a
I'm sure you'll hear it from him, yeah.
And now they know exactly where Rickle is and that he's weak, and so they're just trying to flood him down. Oh, no, he dropped the pack, actually. I think, did a teammate get it, or did an opponent get it? I think...
I'm seeing rockets on Boom on only 2-3 players now, yeah.
I think. I'm not 100% sure, but... Either way, it looks like Boom is still going to get the next quad, so... Ooh.
Oh, nice initial shot there. OK98 is having to struggle quite heavily here, but it's going to be Milton shoving his way in as OK98 tries to get away and live another day. That's not going to happen here, though. Yeah, Milton's going to be able to be the king of this hill for sure.
He is the god of DMT quad runs, but he doesn't have any resources. He'd rather keep his RL alive. He's got no rockets as well, actually. There was a pack there. I wonder if there's any rockets in there. So it's always worth checking, because sometimes the old Boomsticker pack can have some rockets in it, but he's just going to go straight to the mega area. And there is a rocket pack there that spawns, typically, but I think he got some rockets. I think he got that pack, actually, from the guy he just killed. So so he's good to go. And, oh, another rocket pack up there. Can he save it for a teammate? No, he's just going to pick it up, and he's going to try to get himself a secret red.
Which would be good timing for the next setup on the quad, at the very least. Kara's going to make that not so easy, however. He's going to need more than this red before too long. Oh, nice. Catching Kara, try to take away that secret red. Not a bad ploy, actually. That was a good move. They were able to push him back far enough to make that justifiable. Just did not go his way. So Milton's going to be back up on the squad here, 134 to 130, and they're trying to make this a much more comfortable lead.
And this is actually a really important quad run, because Milton just took the low rocket launcher, so his teammates know when both rocket launchers are. The rest of his team is guarding the other side of the map. Milton could actually stay on this side of the map and just run this rocket launcher if his team is doing well on the other side, because I don't think there are any rocket launchers now for Boom. So if Milton just holds this side of the map, they could actually lock it down and start to string an insane amount of frags together if he does it perfectly and his teammates do it perfectly. But looks like BPS is going to shoot him in the face, and now he's in some trouble. He's
a little bit of sabotage, yeah.
Because of that, he has to withdraw. Otherwise, he could have actually held, maybe stuck around. Although I think Carapace spawned the red, but never mind.
Should be all good then. So Bloodog's going to be pulled on down. Milton's getting quite a few team frags, and yeah, I think we should be looking at that at the end of this match. But it's far from over here at 150 to 132. Though, like you mentioned, that didn't really turn into the sort of control that 666 could have been getting out of this. However, they are also looking very strong on the quad. This might be a dead quad, though, so BPS is going to be shut down. So Boom is still in this.
Yeah, and Carapace is in a very good position, because he can basically clean out this area, get the secret red, and then go back to the telly area and basically take control of that. If, though, there are too many enemies who slipped, he has to go towards quad and clear out the guys who've gone through the telly, basically, and that's what he's doing exactly. And so you can see he's just clearing this area out. I don't know if they have the time on this high rocket launcher, but if they don't, that's something he has to establish. And also, if his team doesn't have the telly area, he basically has to defend it in a forward manner. And so now he has to kill BPS. He's got to go forwards and kill BPS, although BPS has left the area.
Oh, jeez. That rocket pop. Well, if he had a weapon, that would have been great, but no such luck, so Kara is going to be able to pull him down pretty quickly.
And those grenades tell us that Boom don't have telly control right now.
Right.
Just the fact that he's spamming up there, because Yeah, BPS comes through and he pushes him down.
Oh, wow.
Great stuff
He's
from
able
BPS.
to push that in. But Milton's waiting in the wings. He's going to be fairly low, but he's going to be prepped for this quad. 2 seconds, 1 second. Is anybody going to be able to come around the corner? Not so much. And now Milton is loose. No, he's pulled down by OK98. I got to hand it to OK98. He's always in the wrong place at the wrong time, but sometimes he takes other people down with him.
So he's good.
He's cursed. That's a good sound.
I love it. I love some of those old sounds. They're just so ridiculous, and I just love that. I love the absurdity of it because these days, right, we don't have a lot of arcade FPS deathmatch kind of games, and it's that kind of, well, you can go to the surreal and the absurd with games like this because it's not supposed to be realistic in any way. So you can really get creative. I love it.
The impression that Quake players took, Quake kind of seriously.
All right, and right now 666 are in a serious position. Again, they were the team that won the first map, and they have a 40 frag lead with 5 minutes left. It's still very recoverable,
right?
But the problem is that 666 have a very good spot. They got Milton on the next quad, it would seem.
And
but
Milton's going to have a little bit of armor left over. The quad is still up, and Betaball Carrot is trying to sneak a rocket in. And Milton's going to be incredibly weak here, so we might see another dead quad or just another dead hallway full of bodies. Whatever team they're on, it doesn't matter.
Pretty much. It does not. The most scary thing in the world is when you throw the quad grenade launcher, the quad pines, because you don't know where they're going to bounce.
Right.
And they're like a rocket, so they just...
You can't trust grenades. Never turn your back on a grenade.
Yeah, but it's fun though. It's really fun. On this map especially, you can do some fun stuff with the grenades.
Absolutely. But that, Milton actually survived that whole thing, so he was able to get some decent frags off of that run, making this an incredibly difficult gap for Boom.
We can check the frags quickly, and yes, Milton is just destroying everyone as usual, as expected. There is a reason why he's considered to be like a godlike player and one of the best, or maybe the best to many people. He is a carry machine.
Jeez. All right, but we got Rio on it now, just because Milton's off doing other things. Blood Dog's going to be victim number 1. However, that puts Rio on the pad a little bit longer than planned. However, there's nobody else from Boom willing to bring that fight together. So BPS is going to be in secret red. Rio doesn't really have a better place to be right now. Oh, they're all set up at quad. It's a trap, and Rio's going to get pulled on down. Could they have known that he was going to be coming back to quad that soon? Even they looked a little bit surprised.
Yes, well, it's going to be a situation now where there's 3 minutes left, and the deficit is such that they need to have that level of control we were talking about, where you lock down both sides of the map straight away. It's not impossible, but the problem is that 666 currently have 3 rocket launchers, and 3 of their players have red armors. So that's not exactly how you begin that.
Right.
That's a process.
Well, it might be, I almost said MG CEST, but no, it's quite accurately shotgun CEST down by 3 players there. But BPS now getting away with a bit of armor, and Rio once again on the quad. Yeah,
I remember being against the best teams in QuakeWorld in certain spots where they get a perfect start, and you actually can't do anything but spawn and just immediately die across the entire map because they have every spawn covered with everything. So you spawn and die, and it's just the most horrendous thing you can imagine.
A+ game.
Yeah.
But, the answer to that is never, in my opinion, things like spawn protection or weapon balance or anything silly like that. It's always map design.
Yeah.
Map design is the game.
I agree. Yeah, there's always ways to mitigate stuff with things that can improve things as opposed to just dilute things.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I'm willing to get pedantic over, but
I know.
Spawn systems get boring real quick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Because it's all relative to so many other factors in the game, especially the map design.
Well, 666 will continue their dominance. Looks like there's no way back in here. Looks like
I don't think so.
It's like they're a shoo-in for the victory in our very impromptu 4-on-4 QuakeWorld.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tournament here, just unofficial tournament. Well, unofficial, official tournament.
Right, where Boom got it by.
Yeah, they got a bye to the finals, yeah.
From the non-existent team, yeah.
It's a pretty good bye.
Yep.
All right, so a minute left now. Oh, love that sound. It's so funny that sometimes that just happens. It's just like this it's almost like an environmental effect. Sometimes you're just gonna be like walking by and you can look to your left, and some guy's struggling for dear life to get out of the lava, stuck between the two platforms as they're crushing him. It's a beautiful thing.
I think the last real hurrah of that sort of thing was Frantic in Quake 4, which was a very short-lived game, but But the acid pool in Frantic always got a few frags out just because it was difficult to get out of. It was shallow, but difficult to get out of.
Yeah. It was very misleading.
That map made Quake 4 worthwhile. That and placebo effect.
Oh, yeah.
But anytime I run a Quake 4 tournament, I get two weirdos who play.
What are their names?
I don't know. I'm one of them, though, so...
Yeah, Quake 4 actually became a very good game. I think when it's, I think from the competitive perspective, right at the start, it was very rough around the edges, and
it got a patch. It was just a little late, and a little late for Boom as well as Dynamite Goes the Boom or something like that.
Oh, we're gonna look at the team.
Yeah, team frags.
Team frags. So any player specifically? Was it Milton specifically?
Milton. Yep.
Let's go to Milton. He only got 112 frags. Frag speed of 31, quadrant of 10, spawn frag 17. Team kills are, where are they? They're there somewhere.
Oh, they're hidden. They're censored.
They've got to be there somewhere.
Damage taken given. Team 818. Yeah.
Where? Did you see?
So that's damage, not kills, though.
I swear we read the team kills earlier. Maybe that's very strange. Either way, you can tweet me if you saw it and we're just blind. Either way, it's going to be the end of the From 4. We've got a nice little view here of outside of the map. I don't exactly know what that the cloudy formation is around a Quake map.
Clouds.
Is it just cloud?
Yeah.
How is the map
Have you never been to Detroit?
Suspended in clouds? No.
Well, it's the it's the void. It's the Eldritch Void.
The Eldritch Void. I actually had a feeling you would say that. So.
Which is a name that Adam is going to use for a Quake Champions map.
Ooh.
The Eldritch Void. Because I just coined it.
Boom. All right, so let's take a quick look at the schedule if we have that graphic. There it is. Boom. Very, very prompt indeed. So we've got all the matches tomorrow, all the remaining games. Of course, it's finals day. It is finals day tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. So here is the schedule. We're going to start off pretty early, and we have the Quake Live stuff going on. Of course, Sparty versus Kilson first, and then Rafa versus Evil. Pretty good way to start your day.
Should be great stuff. Rafa, Evil. Yeah, it's going to be good. And Kilson has been such a big surprise this tournament as well. Well, I feel like it's a little unfair to him to say surprise, but he's been solid. He's been really bringing his A game.
All right, well, I guess that's everything from us, guys. I hope you enjoyed the very impromptu 4-on-4 little tournament that we ran at the end, because we ran a little bit quickly on the 2-on-2, but we still delivered on the QuakeWorld action. But that's all from me, Zoot, me, Jahar, and Zoot. And we will see you for more QuakeWorld and Quake Live action tomorrow on the finals day of QuakeCon 2016.